This week's video is in collaboration with KentFaith. Well, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Also, welcome back as well to Barnwell Country Park. Now, this week's video, I'm actually going to cut straight to the chase. The other week, I got an email from the wonderful guys at KentFaith asking if I'd like to collaborate with them. So, having used K&F Concept equipment and bits of photography gear in the past, I jumped at the chance. Now, we decided to do a review on one of their gimbal heads. Now, I've never used a gimbal head before, so I thought I would give this a whirl whilst also reviewing the gear, because I'm a complete newbie when it comes to using one. So yeah, why not? So let's crack on and we'll come back and talk about this gimbal head in a moment. So I have to say that I am actually really honoured that KentFaith reached out and wanted to collaborate on a video. As I say, I've used their products for a number of years now and I've always been impressed with the quality. And one thing I have to say is that also applies to this gimbal head. Now, when I first opened the box and I sort of looked at it and I was like, that is a solid bit of kit. So just to give you a bit of tech spec, it is made out of, is it 6061 aluminium, precisionally engineered, and also given it a load-bearing capacity of 20 kilos. And I can tell you what, my gear does not weigh that much. Now, tech aside, one of the things that I wanted to sort of try out with never using a gimbal head before is how easy it was to, I say put together, I literally had to put the base plate over onto the arm. And I also wanted to know how easy it was to set up. Now, I will admit, as I've never done it before, I did set up the gimbal last night so that it allowed me to basically come out, attach the camera and start shooting straight away. Now, I got it all set up, ready, leveled, and all I've had to do is attach the camera this morning. Now, I am using the Arca Swiss base plate attached to the bottom of the Sigma lens that was provided as well, because I wanted to give this a full comprehensive review. And one of the advantages of actually using the base plate as well is that it does have pins on the bottom, meaning that if you move the lens too far forward, it's not going to drop off. It has that extra bit of added security in there, which I thought was a nice little touch, to be honest with you, especially for someone who's a total newbie like me of using this, when I was sort of making the adjustments to try and level it when I first set up a minute ago. And so I got the arm balanced so that it does allow me to maneuver the lens with ease, and it just stays exactly where it's positioned. It might be slightly out, I'm not going to lie, but that's one of those things that will come with time. Now, as I say, this is a solid bit of kit, and yeah, I was really impressed with it. So we'll come back and talk about that further in one moment and my experiences of using this gimbal head. I pitched myself up on one of these little, it's not a pontoon, is it? But one of these decking areas that they've kind of put out onto the water. And I was hoping there'd be quite a few water birds down here, and there is not so far. So I may have to go on a wander in a moment. Now, I don't know how long I'm going to be down here today. The weather is a bit drab, to be honest with you. So yeah, stick around and yeah, let's see what pictures of birds we can get. Okay, so one of the great things about using a tripod, regardless of what head you've actually got fitted on it, is I'm currently looking over a river at the moment. There was some small birds sort of moving just over the river, and I was waiting for them to sort of become more visible, and it means I can just leave the camera like this and it's taken the weight off my shoulders. So much relief there. The advantage of having the gimbal head though is if I knew roughly where they were, I can position the camera, leave it there, and wait for something to happen. Fantastic. The other advantage as well of using the gimbal head is that I don't usually do a lot of recording through the Sony, and I thought I'd give it a test run to see how it would work. Now, I was just smoothly panning down on a real inane object. It's literally just a part of a fallen tree, but the video is so much smoother than what I would have been able to get with just hand holding. Another massive advantage of using the tripod, regardless of what head you've got on it, whether it's a gimbal or a ball head or something like that, is the fact that it's allowing me to slow my shutter speed as well. Now, earlier on I was shooting at 1/800th of a second, and it was pushing the ISO up to about 8,000. So the images have come out quite noisy. However, I've lowered the shutter speed now to 1/320th because I haven't got to worry about the 1/over focal length element to allow me to get stable shots, preventing camera shake, things like that. And it's brought the ISO right down to a more acceptable level. So quite happy with that. Now, I have to say I've been really impressed with this gimbal head as well. As I say, one of the things that I can do is, at the moment, looking over this river, I can see there's a branch out there. Now, I can position the camera quite nicely, and it just stays. It's beautiful. Okay, that example on camera isn't actually that great, but if the branch was up there, I can just leave it there and just wait for something to come around. Now, when you consider the cost of this gear, you know, you're looking at two and a half grand brand new for the A7R IV, and you're looking at anywhere between sort of £1,200 and £1,500 for the Sigma 150 to 600. I'm putting a lot of faith in this this gimbal head from KentFaith, and I have to say I've had no concerns about it at all. A minute ago, taking the picture of the Mandarin ducks, I had all my bag and coffee and all that sort of stuff over there. Brought my tripod over here to sort of position myself for shooting these small birds. Not managed to get any yet, and I just left my camera here. Went back, got my bag and my coffee, and I had no concerns at all about the stability of the tripod head, whether my gear would fall off it, anything like that at all. So yeah, really, really impressed. The build quality is absolutely fantastic. Now, if you are interested in using a gimbal head and want to purchase yourself one, I will pop an affiliate link down in the bottom. What I will say is that I will get some small financial reward for you purchasing from that link, but yeah, I can definitely highly recommend it. Also as well, stick around and I will provide a discount code site-wide, so if you're fancying any filters or anything like that as well, you can go grab yourself some at a cheaper price. Okay, so I've just come into a hide that's on a very small, almost like pond, but it has got a lot of willow trees and stuff. Now, again, tripod's all set up nicely, so I'm looking right through one of these apertures straight over the pond, and there's a few small birds that I can hear, but I haven't seen anything yet. However, one of the great things about this gimbal head is it does have 360 degrees panoramic movability on the head, meaning that if I see something over there, I can quickly whip it round, and I've got this full movement, an array of it just makes life so much easier. The camera is sliding at the moment. That's nothing to do with the gimbal head. It's because I am using a zoom, and obviously the weight distribution, if I extend the zoom forward, it is causing more weight down at that end. So it's just something to be mindful of if you are using zoom lenses. That's probably the same case with most other gimbal heads as well, not specifically the K&F Concept heavy duty one that I'm using today. So I'm going to sit around in here for a bit. I'm not having much luck with birds, and this weather is really dingy, meaning that it's really pushing up my auto ISO. Again, fantastic to have the ability to lower my shutter speed because I'm using a tripod, because I'm using the gimbal head, meaning that it is helping to bring down that ISO rather than having to utilise that 1/over focal length that I've spoke about before. But I actually need some birds to photograph to utilise that, so yeah, stick around, we'll see what comes up. So I'm not usually one for sitting in a hide and doing photography and being patient by any stretch of the imagination. As I'm sure you know from my previous videos, I'm out doing a gimbal, camera in hand. But I've just had possibly one of my most favourite sessions of photography. And it's all thanks to this gimbal head. It's allowed me to have the camera positioned on the tripod and just move around with such ease and flexibility. So first of all, huge shout out and massive thank you to KentFaith for putting your faith in me to do a review on your gimbal head. And oh, tip. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, massive shout out, as I say, to KentFaith for providing me with the K&F heavy duty gimbal head for my review. And I have to say, the product is absolutely fantastic. As I say, this has been one of my best sessions of photography here, and it's all been possible thanks to this. It's solid, well built, it moves with such fluidity and ease. I can't fault it for 1 minute. I'm definitely glad this is a new addition to my camera bag. I will probably not use it when I'm out on sort of short bimbals for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But when I'm coming out and doing some serious photography, like here, at the coast, anywhere I'm gonna consider sitting in a hide for, this is definitely going to be coming in my kit bag with my tripod. It's just made life an absolute dream today. So again, KentFaith, thank you very much. Now, I did mention before, they have provided me with a discount code. Now this discount code is available until, I think it's the end of December 2024. And when you're ready to check out, use the coupon code Mike for 17% off site-wide. So if you're after a new tripod, filters, or this gimbal head, make sure you enter that code. Also as well, the affiliate link to purchase this gimbal head will be down in the comments. Not comments, description. So obviously if you like the video, give us the old thumbs up. My first trip out ever with a gimbal head. And obviously my review of the actual product itself. Obviously, do drop some subscribes from down the bottom wherever it is and hit that notification bell. And yeah, this is Mike out. Take care and be safe, everyone. Peace.